Hello, John.
Hello, Albert.
So Simon Harris has recently stated that we will build 50,000 homes per year, which is up from his predecessor. Dara O'Brien or O'Brien has says he's the housing minister. He says no, it's not possible because we don't have the capacity. My question is, in 2022, we let 107,000 people into the country. In 2023, 141,000 came into the country. That's almost 250,000 people. It's a lot of people. And what I'm wondering is, how could we have a shortage of skilled trades when you leave 250,000 people into the country? Had they not screened them for trades? Because you should be letting in a couple of thousand trades people, you know?
Right. And of that 250,000, how many can speak English clearly and so on and so forth that you can understand? Or have they got other languages? We don't know. All I know is that when I meet people, and I meet quite a few here and there, they're all talking in their own language. I don't hear anyone talking in English. People walk past even here where I live in Oldcastle, which is a backwater in some ways, but busy enough. And there's quite a few people here from other jurisdictions, and they often see them walking and they're talking away in their own language, even with children. So that's the fact of the matter. So the 250,000 come, I presume, to come from countries other than England. So we don't know, do we? And I don't know how to manage to get housed or accommodation or what have you. So, be that as it may, we're talking about builders for the built houses. Mr. Harris threw a figure in 50,000. And the housing minister responsible for that, Derek O'Brien from Malahide, is where he's from. And suffice to say that he's responsible for that, and so he says like that that's not possible to build that many because of the hoops that they have to go through with planning and this, that, and the other, and zoning and all the rest of it, and the many what sort of houses to build, and whether they're going to be terraced houses and all the rest of it, and no chimneys, so that you're sitting in your house, and I don't know where you'd be sitting looking at, because you'd have to be looking at different walls, or maybe the windows would be there, but perhaps they're all double glazed or treble glazed or something because of this business of climate. They're obsessed with climate. But funny enough, been raining here in April quite a bit. I had some temperatures today, so we're talking about this question of builders. Um, Now, on the one hand, we did something about artificial intelligence and robots. Just digressing, would the robots be able to build houses? I wonder. Would they be trained to build houses in bricks and odd rest? Because bricklayers had to be particularly trained, and then sometimes they built houses with some kind of thing that's already made without a need for bricklayers, and they wouldn't have good thick walls. So these are all new things that could happen, that they could be building houses that wouldn't be as insulated from the point of view of noise. Another thing is mobile homes. That might be an answer that could be built fairly quick. I know there's people building houses. They're not mobile homes, but they can be put on site, and they're often three bedroom with the facilities that a normal house would have, and shower and all the rest of it, and plugged in, and they're already equipped. So there's various ways of having accommodation for people, and not in the way that they might be expecting, like with brick houses and maybe nice windows and all the rest of it. So it's very hard to make out what way things will be done, and the fact that that amount of people come in, aside from what they might have by way of skills, the builders are needed, but on the one hand, then we have artificial intelligence coming, so you kind of wonder what way the situation is going to be if you're building houses and all this business of unemployed, but maybe guaranteed income, but they wouldn't might have enough to be buying the sort of prices that houses are charging in Dublin. So there could be a reduction in prices because of this artificial intelligence that's coming and making redundancies.
Yeah, I know. I just want to, we're going slightly off track there. The thing about it is the government has all kinds of fancy plans, okay, for different schemes. One scheme is the vacant property refurbishment grant, which is all over Ireland. The government has given something like 50 million, I think it is, for that. The biggest problem is there's loads of money, but there isn't the skills, okay? So if you look at the vacant property grant, rural Ireland, where are you going to find a carpenter? Where are you going to find a bricklayer? You're just not going to find them, okay? And if you were letting 250,000 people in, how do we have a shortage of carpenters, tilers, bricklayers, all the different trades? We're still short on those. As Darragh O'Brien says, we don't have the capacity in the construction area to do these things. And the question is, who is not filtering the skills shortage? Why aren't they filtering these people to make sure we bring in what we need?
It seems to me that they haven't got the skills to do that, which they should have. It should be a fundamental thing that you should do to establish the educational, whatever it is that these people have. Are they all illiterate? Are they literate? What were they at when the countries they came from and all this? But they have no data of that caliber, as far as I know. Um,
Do
um, so it's a very strange way to have immigration of that caliber, and I don't think any other country behaves like that. I disregard Britain, or I don't mind what they do, but I'm talking about other countries in the continent. They don't behave like that. Everybody is vetted, and their literacy and all the rest of it established, and what requirements they have. Some could be handicapped. Most of them would be medical examined because they can come from countries where TB is hasn't been cured, and other sort of places where they come from that can be contagious type of diseases, and so there's a health risk as well. We don't know what they do. We don't hear any evidence that they are screened as regards any type of contagious diseases they might possess. Depends on because they're coming maybe from hot countries where there's all sorts of problems. And so there's a lot more than just the skills for building required, I think, letting in that many. How can they be screened? We don't hear anything by way of people being medical people being at these points of entry and examining them for all these diseases and screens and all the X-rays and all the rest. So as we know, like what's coming in. You get me, Trip. These There are many requirements, Oliver, and not least about the skills, but about the health situation, the literary situation, etc. And why they come in. What's attracting such an amount of people coming into this small country?
I suppose we're the land of riches, I suppose. I don't know. We've got a great reputation.
Like you see, if artificial intelligence comes in, there's going to be all this unemployment. And your suggestion is very good that these robots and these other ones have some kind of PRSI and depending on many jobs they're replaced, sufficient to guarantee the workers being made redundant by these systems, that they will be able to retrain because they want to work. I
Perhaps, John
know.
Malone, perhaps that they could use artificial intelligence to filter the skills shortage. You know,
Well, you see, but would it be to use it? I can only just sort of say, if they let that many in,
yes.
it's a very dangerous thing to have them on in the country, and we don't
There's a
know what
lot of
sort of.
human error there that a robot could replace.
Well, yes, but a robot has to be able to ask head questions and so on and so forth. No, I think you need people to do that
Okay.
at the end of the day. I know they have machines, modern machines, and modern this, that, and the other to be able to determine the health of a person. But that would be a requirement. In other words, there should be delays for these people before they go anywhere. When they come in, where did they go? If there's 250,000 come in 2 years, that's an awful amount of new people coming in, assuming that there were new people. And they should be screened for health, for literacy, for what language they speak, and what training they had, and what the record, and where they come from, and also then some clearance as regards no criminal record, that type
Yeah,
of thing. These are all mandatory in most other countries, and they should be mandatory here too. We should be reassured, and I think questions that need to be asked about that. To be honest about it, it's we we when we emigrated to countries, we were vetted very much, even though we had this business and the famine and all the rest, and people going, and they wouldn't have been as healthy as they should be. God help them, and they were screened and examined very closely.
that's it.
So and that's years ago, and now you can guarantee it. You're not allowed into the country of any contagious disease, and you're not allowed into the United States, aside from the problem on their southern border that they're experiencing since the Democrats come into power. Um, they're examined, and for any criminal record, any health, they're examined fairly thoroughly. And even if they do get in, they're followed up,
That's it.
so there's safeguards.
Thank you very much.
I,
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to know we have safeguards like that here, and that this business of the building. I hope building can continue if this artificial intelligence takes over, and then there's where Anyway, you're quite right. Skills should be examined with all that amount coming in to know what they could do and what language they speak as their main language.
Excellent. Thanks very much, John.
Thanks very much, Oliver.
Bye now.